What's up, Life High? I'm Marvin,
I'm Jason.
and this is the Dig Deeper podcast that we're starting again. And today we're talking about change. And so I'm going to ask Jason right here, what are some experiences that you've had when you first met Jesus and when you first experienced it?
Right. So for me, basically, I was more of one of those kids that would come to church for the fun and hang out with my friends and just being in the crowd talking while Grant's preaching. You know what I mean? And it was fun, but didn't really fulfill me. Like I would leave church and then like be so empty inside. You know what I mean? Like I like empty to where you know you could have had something from it, but you just regret like like listening. That's kind of how I felt after every service. And then I heard about spring break camps coming up, so I was not excited for that. But my parents, they're like super pumped on Christianity and like being in the religion. And my mom made me come to spring break camp, so I came. And I did not want to be there for the first day, but I had my friends there, so whatever I could sing with them. But the second day, the second worship night, after Linger, well, during Linger, I was like just praying to God and hoping that I would hear anything from him. And I really did. I heard a lot from him. I think it was just hard for me because I knew I didn't want to lead the life of like the comfortability of just coming to church and hanging out and not having to do anything else, just being lazy basically. But like Noah came over and prayed with me, and I was bawling my eyes out, just crying. It was finally it was like a breakthrough. Like I broke through, just like everything that I was doing. Like just so much change happening at one moment. And I came to church that next week for team night for the first time ever. And I wasn't really that excited for it. But I still had to learn the basics and what to do on stage. And at that time I was still kind of like just doing it for the performance. So maybe I can like just look cool on stage. No, I had a rude awakening like what, like 2 weeks before that. 2 weeks after that worship night when I sang for the first time, I told my mom I was so hyped, I was excited. Maybe I could make more friends. And she gave me like this long conversation of like how it's not for a performance, it's for worship. And I was like, okay, yeah, I think I did. Really, I didn't get it. I just went and got it come to some point. But I had I just had a long prayer with God, to me about it, just asking him to show me the way. Like, how do I do this? I'm new to this. I know what to do. I don't know if I'm doing it right. And he really spoke to me that night too, and came back before every time before I sing, I have a lonely prayer. Just like hopefully after I sing, like one more person just change, like one more person break through something that they like want to break through out of, and and that change was kind of hard for me because I that's not the life that I lived for like all my life. Even when I was younger, like I was so into it. I was like the kid in church where I would like, shh, tell someone, stop talking, dude. Like, listen up. But like, I changed after middle school. I had to change worldly. Everything was worldly. Music was bad. Talking, my language was bad. It was all that. But yeah, I came a long way. Pretty much it.
You come a long way, bro. Like you've done so much now, and you've taken so many lives, and like God doing that through you. So I'm proud of you, bro. For me, it's similar too. I also grew up in a Christian household, and I would like my parents were like super into Christianity, and they're always like I was always on church on Sundays. I was always there, but I as a kid I got it. As a kid I understood it. I was like, this Jesus guy is awesome, right? He's cool. But then I got to like middle school, yeah, middle school, and I just stopped feeling him. Like I was super just like I didn't care for it, and it was like I just like I felt like I like drew away from what I learned, and I just started doing things that I thought was cool. Because like back in middle school, it was like it's not really like the coolest thing to like be like go to church all the time, be church crazy.
Yeah, bring a Bible, especially.
Yeah, dude. Like I was like it just felt like different. So I started doing worldly things. I only really cared about myself. I was really selfish and only saw after my own goals and my own motivations. And I didn't care what happened to anybody else as long as it benefited me. That was my mindset. Middle school to like freshman year. And over the course of that time, I just got like worse and worse. Like got like almost every year I got worse. I listened to worldly music, like really, really bad music. I like my language was terrible. I was always cussing.
Same boat as me.
Yeah,
Hunch.
every man. And then I just like fell into the wrong crowd, the wrong people, and I started wanting to be like them. And then I just started doing like terrible, just just cussing. And then there's this one time where I like I would hide stuff from my mom, like I'd lie to her, and like never lie to my mom, So it felt kind of weird. But I just kept going and going until finally like a breakthrough happened my freshman year, and I encountered God. And I remember like I knew it was God because like back then I only cared about myself and my own motivations and like whatever I wanted. And then when I heard God, it was like caring for somebody else. Like it's not like it would not have benefited me. It's like just caring about other people. So I was like, man, this is a real deal. So and like everyone knew me like at school, like as like that annoying bad kid Marvin who always cusses up, who always distracts class, who always does this.
Yeah.
And so, but then I changed my life for God and I came back. And this was all freshman year. And it was weird because everyone was like, have you heard Marvin? Like he's all like religious now. I'm like, but yeah, like I just saw news to what's good. And it's been great. Can happen and I felt like some level of like worship and I thought it was that I'm happy to yeah. So it's like a similar story in Lewis. It was like really a breakthrough. Yeah. So it's hey, never supported.
So, what would you tell a kid that thinks, or a student from high school that thinks that, man, I've done some horrible things. I'm doing drugs. I'm too far gone. God's not gonna forgive me, or I'm not worthy of it, or I'm too dirty, or too far gone. What would you tell that kid?
You know, if you take that one for sure. I've actually had the same encounter. Same encounter. It was at a regular Wednesday. I remember I had to give something else and a kid walked up to me and he wasn't well, he was like me. He said he was only there for the fun. He asked me for the following the hoop and like I didn't get it. I don't know. I shot him a little bit. And then they were talking about like like just that. And I mean, the thing they were talking about, I wasn't in that group. I was playing with the other kids. And yeah, I remember that kid in that the lyrics talking about like making fun of this kid for like just for his ways he vapes for sure. And he wanted to get out of it, but his finger like trying to pierce like telling him how to and stuff. Like I could see something bother him, but he tried to take like the nonchalant, trying to play cool. And I was telling him about the same, right? Let's say the boat I was in. My friend didn't want me to change, didn't want me to be a worship leader, they didn't want me to like not leave the hangout area, just how I had to be in the back all the time. I'm trying to tell him that whatever is like in his head telling him that he can't change and whatever he does won't be worth it. It won't even worth it. Just tell him just not give up. And of course, he's like you very talking about it. Nothing's even on the you doing too much. I was just telling him like he doesn't have to agree with me right now. I'm just saying right? If he ever thinks about it, then just don't listen to any lie to you and tell you just that you're not ability to nothing you do matters. Just realize he won't give up on you. God will never give up on you, no matter what. And I learned that no matter how many times I mess up and come you just fall short, there's you there to catch you and bring you back to I just told him enough. That's basically what I would tell anyone else and something like that. Because it's worth it. No matter what, it's worth change is definitely it's never too late.
I want to add on to something just to that question because I try to do counseling with people and like my friends, like they always like if they have an issue, I would try to help them out. And that's one of the biggest things. Even for me, was like sometimes you don't want to get close to God and you don't want to draw near to Him because of the guilt you have, of the like shame you have, of like, oh, I've done too much, I'm too dirty, I've done a lot of things. Like that's that's a lie from the enemy, like Jason said. But I understand how hard it can be to like let go of that. But you have to understand that God sees you as like He died for you and He paid for those sins. He paid for all of it. So when He sees you, He doesn't think, oh my God, look at that. Like dirty, like that sinful kid. He looks at that, he looks at you and He says, like, you're beautiful. You're my creation. I formed you in my hands. I knew who you were. I knew what you were going to do. And I still love you and I still created you. And it didn't change it. Like I still died for you. And I still want you. I still want you to draw near. I want you to come to me no matter what you do. I want you to just seek me. There's this quote that I heard that said, God is like a father that whenever you get in trouble, He doesn't want you to say, like, oh my God, I'm in trouble. I cannot tell my dad. God wants you to be like, oh my God, I got into trouble. I need to find my dad. I need to tell him.
Yeah.
Like that's the type of my father God wants to be to us. And He just wants to love on you and care for you. So whoever is like going through that shame and that like just doubt and insecurity, I would just say, just know that you're loved. Like you're genuinely loved by a God, like the God of the universe. Like that's huge. Like He created everything, and He chose you and He loves you and He cares for you. So if there's like anyone who like genuinely feels like that, there's also community. You can go out and seek. Hey, like it says in the Bible, there's healing in confession. So I like if I'm going through something in my yeah, I'm really going through this, and I feel like I've done too much.
Yeah.
I feel like I've done all this. Just like He can help me out. Community can help you out. So that's what I would.
And I definitely didn't. It's not easy for sure. It's not easy to do that. I definitely didn't want to go to that camp and talk to Mel and Chinga because they would talk about abuse, and this kid's crazy. But yeah, never easy. But I mean, being a Christian is easy. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's always gonna be hard. But at the end, it's gonna be worth it. Being with God is worshiping Him for eternity. That's like the best gift you could ever receive.
A question I actually have for both of y'all is, was it hard for you to adjust to the new change and leave your worldly views and old life behind?
Okay. It definitely was, especially like for example, my potty mouth and like all like the cussing. That took a while to like just leave behind and just adjust to like being like an active Christian and wanting to follow God. Because at first you're like, oh, this Jesus guy's like, he's cool. I'm gonna follow him, and then you start seeing like all the stuff he like can do, and you're like, oh man, I can't do this. I like for example, it's not like I can't smoke, but like I can't have sex outside marriage. Like it's a lot of rules, and it's like, yes, it is, but it's about following Jesus, the guy, like the man who died for you, and who's the Son of God, you know. And He wants you to leave those things behind because he wants to sanctify you. He wants to make you into like a better person for everyone, and just for His glory and for His will, you know. And something that's really hard to leave those things. But like that one story in the Bible where it says a man found treasure and he like left everything he had. And he sold out everything he had because he found that treasure. That's what it's like with God. And you just leave everything with all.
Was it worth it to you?
To me, it was definitely worth leaving all my sinful habits, all my, and I still sin. I mean, we all do, but I'm trying to change and I'm trying to leave that behind. And it was definitely worth it because at the time it felt like, oh man, I'm like getting rid of this. I like this stuff. But then after you realize and you get out of that hole that you're in, you look at that and you're like, man, I was in that hole. Like it was like I was going through that. Like I was doing this stuff. It's like it's some just stuff you see back and you're like, I thank God. Like at the time you didn't understand. Like there's a lot of like things I didn't want to get rid of, like my sinful things. And I didn't understand. But then looking back, I'm like, I understand what you were doing. Even though I couldn't see it then, now I understand. And that's what it's like, just trusting God whenever He tells you to do something.
That's good. Yep. For me, it was definitely hard. Probably one of the hardest things I've ever did in my life. Because I knew there was gonna be judgment from like doing what I need to do. I need to like lead worship and just help everyone give God the praise he deserves. It was very hard for me to do because friends I had, they were like super close to me, but they weren't good for me. I knew that, but I knew I didn't have anybody else. I would come here, go to the same people I wouldn't have known us to talk to. So I'm like, if I go to this and do this and change my life, if I lose them, what do I have after that? And I had to look at the bigger picture that at the end of the day, I have no one at all. I'll never understand this time. And once I realized that, I'm like, I had to stop looking at my life and start making that like the bigger picture and just just spreading the word while there's still time. Spreading your word, letting everyone know that there's a God who loves you so much and he is coming. So just I had to look at the bigger picture basically. Doing that, it really changed me. It was very hard, but I overcame it. And I think every company is a good time. Yeah. Yeah, it's been just, I don't know.
Do you recommend someone who has never been to spring break camp to come for the first time? And why do you recommend them coming?
Once again, yes, no matter how much you feel like it won't be fun, it's gonna be lame, think it's gonna be a waste of time, you be going there will change you in ways you couldn't even imagine. I mean, it changed me. It changed me so much. I look back, I laugh at how dramatic I was about going there. I mean, like I was in the car. I told my mom, no, no, I'm not moving. She said, "Look at the car." I'm like, okay, I was scared, but like,
So,
yeah,
so
no.
she basically made you go.
Yeah, she did. She got the power. But yeah, and I was so dramatic, but it was so good. And yeah, I would really encourage anyone to go there because they'll change your life. It'll change you in ways you can even imagine. For sure.
Like, yeah, like you mentioned,
Yes.
the same thing as him.